Marlon Brando, Denzel Washington, Christian Bale, Emma Stone, Jack Nicholson, Oscar Isaac. What do all of these people and more have in common? They're all fighting for second because Ryan Gosling is the best actor of all time. Okay, that's a joke. I don't even think that there is such a thing as best actor because there are so many incredible actors who are good at different things, but there is such a thing as favorite actors, and Ryan Gosling is definitely one of them for me. Now, Ryan Thomas Gosling has been at it for a hot minute, getting his start in the 90s as a Mickey Mouse Club kid. It's only in the 2010s, though, that people really started to realize just how much of a talent this guy is. Specifically casting directors, but the general public also caught on a bit to this guy's talent. However, in that time, a meme began. A meme that Ryan Gosling's characters are literally me. And yes, Ryan Gosling is me for real. But I think a few people don't realize just how talented my guy Ryan G is. I don't have a big life lesson to instill in anyone, it's just Ryan Gosling is cool, and here's why. So, Ryan Gosling is cool, and here's why. Also, it's Ryan Gosling's birthday, so Ryan, if you're watching this, happy birthday. Part 1. The guy has range. Look, I'm no acting expert, I don't plan on becoming an actor, and I don't know any of the acting techniques that all the professionals understand. That said, I know a good performance when I see one, and I have seen quite a few from my guy Gosling. My first exposure to him was in the film Blade Runner 2049, where he plays K, a Blade Runner who's been told he's a replicant, but starts to consider the possibility that he might actually be a human. That's pretty vague because I don't need spoilers to get my point across, the point being that Gosling gives a great performance here. K is pretty stoic, but Ryan Gosling is able to show a lot of emotion through his stoicism, and even more so when he isn't stoic. However, this is really just the tip of the iceberg for Gosling. K in Blade Runner 2049 and The Driver and Drive are potentially Ryan Gosling's most iconic performances. They're also known as the literally me characters, but as someone I was talking to found out after watching The Big Short, Ryan Gosling can play more than that. In The Big Short, Ryan Gosling leans more into comedy, though he doesn't go over the top. His performances in both this and La La Land feel a lot more grounded than the other roles he's gone on to play, but also a lot more light and normal, for lack of a better word, than in Blade Runner 2049 and Drive. Both Jared Vinnett in The Big Short and Sebastian Wilder have their eccentricities, Jared being a finance bro and Sebastian having a jazz hyperfixation, but even then, the performances don't feel the same. Ryan leans a lot more on the dramatic side for Sebastian and a lot more on the comedic side for Jared, but both performances feel grounded. Performances like in Barbie and The Nice Guys, however, are nowhere near grounded. Both Ken and Barbie and Holland March and The Nice Guys are over the top and unrealistic in the best way possible. Not that they're the same, Holland March feels more depressed where Ken feels more bitter, but they're both examples of how far Ryan Gosling can go comedically. In between this is Crazy Stupid Love, which is interesting because it feels like a middle ground between full-blown, almost sketch comedy Ryan Gosling and Ryan Gosling you wouldn't be surprised to meet on the street. Jacob Palmer is over the top in a lot of ways, but blends in with the studio comedy rom-com tone the movie is going for, and that's what I think makes Ryan Gosling such a talented actor. He has different degrees of each type of character he plays. Even when he plays a similar type of character, his performance never feels exactly the same. From the outside looking in, that seems pretty difficult to pull off, but he makes it look like it's nothing. There's also something to be said for the way he fully embodies a character, and goes from feeling like Ryan Gosling playing a character to a character who happens to look and sound like Ryan Gosling. He can also play a guy who's an absolute liability on defense, like in Remember the Titans, and my dad would be disappointed in me if I didn't mention that. Part 2. The guy has taste. So, have you ever had the experience where you've watched a Ryan Gosling movie and thought to yourself, man, this just isn't good? If your answer to that was no, that wasn't an accident. If you look at Ryan Gosling's filmography, you'll see that he has had a lot more hits than misses, even if not every movie he's done has been the best. How does he do it? Well, I know as much about choosing a good role as I do what makes a good performance, which is to say I kinda do, but not really, but I can spot a few patterns. The big one is that Ryan Gosling works with talented people. If you look at the directors he's worked with, you'll find people like Shane Black, Damien Chazelle, Denis Villeneuve, and most recently Greta Gerwig. Those are only a few of the people he's worked with, but it isn't just directors that he has taste in. Ryan Gosling also frequently collaborates with the same actors. In 2011, he did Crazy Stupid Love with Steve Carell and Emma Stone, and in 2015, he did The Big Short with Steve Carell, and in 2016, he did La La Land with Emma Stone. He also did a movie in 2013 with Emma Stone called Gangster Squad, but I don't think very many people remember or have seen that one. More recently, he's set to do a few more movies with Margot Robbie, his Barbie co-star. Technically, they were both in The Big Short, but they didn't really co-star because Margot Robbie's part was a one-scene cameo. Still, my point is, Ryan Gosling works with talented people, and talented people work with Ryan Gosling. Part 3. The guy has charm. So, over the past few years, it's no secret that actors' lives have been much more on display. With the rise of social media, a lot has come to light about actors and celebrities in general, and we just tend to know a lot more about actors than we had in the past. That said, Ryan Gosling has taken to it well. On and off camera, he presents himself as cool and funny, and he's comfortable being the butt of the joke. If he has an ego, he does a good job of keeping it off camera, and from everything I know about his personal life, which isn't much because he's a pretty private person, he seems like a genuinely good guy. This is actually the thing that made me this big of a Ryan Gosling fan, is just the way he presents himself. He doesn't seem annoying or self-important or anything, he just seems like a guy who enjoys what he does. And I'm sure a lot of his public persona is designed for publicity, but even from stories people he's worked with say, it sounds like he's a pretty good guy. Most importantly, though, was the GQ Top 10 Essentials video he did as Ken. It's so good, and it shows his dedication to his work and his complete understanding of the characters he plays.
Ken in a box. This is to remind you of the box that you came in, and the box that the world will happily put you back in if you don't Ken as hard as you can every day.
And just, he really is one of the best actors in Hollywood right now. To wrap this up, Ryan Gosling is a very good actor. He has been in quite a few movies, and I like a lot of them. I don't know if he's the best actor ever, because I don't know if there even is such a thing, but he's one of my favorites, and I've never seen a bad performance from him. He has range, he picks good movies to be in, and I don't know him personally, and I doubt I ever will, but he seems like a genuinely pretty cool guy. Let me know if you'd want to see more videos like this. I don't usually do call to actions, but this is a pretty different thing I'm trying out here, and I'd like to know if it's a good idea, or if it should be remembered as much as Gangster Squad. If you like this video, I'd like to hear what other actors you'd maybe want to see a video like this for. Also, what's your favorite Ryan Gosling movie, and why? Mine is probably Blade Runner 2049 because it's well made and tackles interesting themes in a compelling way, and also Ryan Gosling shows a lot of emotion through the quiet, stoic character he portrays. Alright, that's it. Bye.